Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Wingate Solutions. I hope you're doing well. So today's video is going to be a little bit of an update video on one of my SPR builds, and we're also going to be doing a first impressions on the Rosco manufacturing canine barrel. This is the barrel and hatchet version. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, quick update on this SPR, and then we're going to get to shooting it. So if you guys have followed the channel for a little bit now, you know I like a magnified SPR style rifle as kind of my main squeeze go-to rifles. They're just the rifles that I like shooting. I like to have a magnified scope. I like running the piggyback red dot. It's just my style of rifle build. So this one is no different. It's just an update to one I already had. This is 2.5 to 10 primary arms scope on it. My favorite scope out there. Supposedly they're coming out with an update soon. We'll see. Just have a primary arms red dot on top. It works for the money. I'll probably update this to like a T2 at some point. Mount wise, I'm a big fan of the Night Force mounts. And for mounting that red dot, this is a Co & Co red dot mount. Really cool company. They sent this out to me with no promises of any type of review or saying any nice things. They didn't sponsor. They didn't give me any money. They sent this out to me because I was really interested in it and they wanted me to test it out for them. So I think that's really cool. Stay tuned for some more content on that because I want to do an update on piggyback red dots coming up just because I have a lot of time on them and I've used a lot of different styles, and I'm starting to move my rifle build towards this style where it's a direct mount to the scope mount itself rather than being attached to the scope tube. So stay tuned for that. I'll do some future content on that. And other than that, this is a standard rifle. Just mil-spec upper lower, running a LaRue MBT 2-stage trigger in it. I really like them for the money. Just a Magpul stock. This is kind of the chunky one with a real wide cheek weld on it. I like them. They work. Buffer wise, it's just a standard buffer system, standard carbine spring, but I have an H1 buffer in here. We'll see how that runs with this setup in a minute when we start shooting. I really like these BCM handguards. So this one is upgraded to a BCM handguard, and I have a BCM bolt carrier group in it. When I switch out a barrel, I like to switch a brand new bolt carrier group in. So I picked BCM this time. Figured this one should be built pretty well. It's kind of my main squeeze, so I wanted it to be kind of trustworthy with a good reputable bolt carrier group in there. Got an Arca plate on here for tripods. Got a pick rail right there for bipods. Arasaka light and an Arasaka offset mount, and can is Dead Air Sandman K. I've run this for a while. I have the 5.56 flash hider end cap, and it's been converted by Echo Machine to be hub compatible, so I can run these Plan B style muzzle devices. I love it. Unfortunately, Echo is not really doing any conversions right now, so if you're into that or want to look into getting the can updated, check into them, kind of see, check their website to see if they're going to get those services up and running again. I know they were doing some changes to their shop, adding a bunch of new machines. So they put it on hold with no expectation to start up again. So I'm not sure if they will offer conversions again in the future. I don't know if anybody else does. Kind of sucks because I want to do a lot more content on this, and I still will, but it's kind of like a tease now because anybody that has a Sandman that wants to get it converted, I'm not sure if there's anybody that's really doing it now that that Echo Machine has stopped. But anyway, that's what I'm running on there. All right, so let's talk about the barrel for a second because that's kind of the whole point of this update, and the whole point of this video really is this Rosco manufacturing canine barrel. This is the 16-inch intermediate gas system barrel and hatchet version. So the barrel and hatchet guys are really cool. If you don't follow them on YouTube, you should go check those guys out. I really like the content those guys are pushing. But this is their collaboration with Rosco, and Rosco kind of does this with a few of their barrels where they'll have a company kind of collab like their style or kind of make the barrel based on their preferences for what they want to do. I think that's really cool. It's nice to see different companies kind of collabing together and kind of building the community that way. I really like that. It's really cool. So I like the barrel and hatchet guys. I like Rosco manufacturing from what they do, but this is actually my first barrel from them, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to try them out. Typically I've run the barrel of the Ballistic Advantage Hansen barrels is kind of my go-to main squeeze rifle builds, and they've worked really well for me, but I wanted to try something different. So this is a really cool barrel profile. It's kind of a heavier, like medium weight, heavier barrel, not quite like H-bar. I don't have the specific weight offhand. You guys can probably look it up, but it's a significant taper. You probably can't see it. It's got a real heavy taper from back here then towards the muzzle. If you guys have watched my content a little bit, you kind of know I don't like government profile barrels. I like taper barrels like this. That's why I like those Hansen barrels a lot, because they're kind of known for really pushing that style of barrel out there. Now, a Hansen profile, even the 750 Hansen, is noticeably thinner than this barrel. So this one's got a little bit of thickness to it, which I think is cool for this style of build. I want this one to be, kind of be more of an SPR, kind of a precision build. So I'm really hoping this thing does well accuracy-wise. I will be testing this for groups on probably my next video. I want to get some more rounds down the barrel before I do a group test. I have like 30 or 40 rounds on this today, so it's brand new. We're going to test it more for gassing reliability, see how it runs with and without a can, because they supposedly designed this to be optimized to run both suppressed and unsuppressed. So that's kind of what I'm excited to test. Specifically, this intermediate length gas system is really cool. It's in between a rifle length and a mid length. I haven't had an intermediate gas system yet, so I'm excited for that. I'm hoping this is a nice smooth shooter, and I'm hoping it runs well suppressed and unsuppressed. It's kind of the whole point of this thing. But yeah, we'll do some future testing on it after today, specifically for accuracy, longevity. I plan on putting this thing through its paces, and I know there's like almost no content on YouTube about it, besides Barrel and Hatchet having their own content on it, which is cool. And not to say they're biased at all, but it's like from the guys that technically helped design this barrel. So I wanted to put some content out there, kind of giving a different perspective. I'm unrelated to any of those guys. I don't have any relationship with Barrel and Hatchet or Rosco. I paid for it myself. I really just want to test it out and see if it's kind of gonna end up being my main squeeze new rifle build. So anyway, let's get to shooting this thing. All right, guys, so first impressions, we're gonna check this out now. I'm gonna shoot it unsuppressed to start, and then we'll throw my Sandman K on and also a Turbo K just to see how it runs. Now again, it's just first impressions. I only have a couple rounds on it for zeroing. I'm going to put a lot more time into this barrel and give you guys feedback as we go, because I'm hoping this will end up being kind of my main squeeze setup here. But anyway, just gonna do some drills, kind of some just standard up drills, just kind of get a feel for it, make sure it runs, and I'll let you guys see what the ejection pattern's like, all that good stuff. And we'll throw the cans on. Let's do it. I'm only at a couple yards. Not that that's really the point of the video, just to kind of give me something to shoot at, just so you guys know. So anyway, let's start on suppressed. Got a few rounds in here. Feels pretty good so far. I mean, just 16-inch rifle. It's a little bit of a heavier, not heavy build, but it's not a lightweight build. So I'm not really like noticing too much right off the bat as far as it feeling much different than a standard 16-inch gun. Definitely has a smooth recoil impulse. That intermediate gas system's new to me, but anyway, so far it's working real well. Good. Held open on that last round, so that's a good sign. Testing a new barrel or a new build, a lot of times I'll run like just a couple rounds in a bunch of mags, and I will test them out just to make sure it's gassy enough to reliably cycle the bolt. All right, so now I have my Sandman K on here. See how it runs with a suppressor. I'm hoping it feels pretty good, because I don't want to have to tune this thing. It's kind of the whole point of having a barrel like this, is that if it runs really well, suppressed and unsuppressed, it's kind of perfect for me. I don't like running adjustable setups, so I'm really excited. Hopefully this thing works. Let's do it. Cool. Okay, so far so good. I don't notice any gas. Not that this is the most gassy can. We'll kind of see when I put that Turbo K on. That thing's a little gassier. I'm kind of excited to see how that runs. Nice. Oh, I think I got either one round still in there or it didn't hold back. Let's see. Let's hit some steel real quick. Nice. And holds back on that. That's good. Yeah, it didn't feel bad at all. We'll throw that Turbo K on and then we'll do a little more. All right, so now that YHM Turbo K, like this little can, good bang for the buck. It's a relatively inexpensive can. A little bit gassier of a can, so we'll see how that does. I only have 5 rounds in this mag, and I have another one, so I'm going to shoot these 5 rounds at a pretty quick pace, kind of see how much gas gets thrown back at me, and then move on. Let's do it. Cool. Didn't feel bad. No, it was only 5 rounds. We'll definitely do some more testing to kind of get more of a feel, but I felt fine. Now, I wasn't really paying attention to the ejection pattern. That's not really that big of a deal. Usually suppressed guns are going to send them a little bit forward. What really comes down to, is it reliable, and is it not too overgassed to the point where it's going to be, hard on parts. That's what we don't want. But as far as gas to my face, I didn't really notice anything weird from it. But yeah, anyway, so I'm actually going to, I only got a few rounds in this last mag. I'm going to swap it out for this empty one, and we'll just do these last few rounds. I'll hit some steel. I'm just going to do 1 round. Obviously, it's going to be empty then, and then I will reload. So I'll do just 1 round, making sure that this bolt locks to the rear each time. It should, because I'm running the can on there, but just for testing purposes. And I'll probably take the can off again and do the same drill, maybe without the can, because that's really where it matters more. But let's do it. Cool. And I'll pick that up. Yeah, so far so good. Got a couple more. And I think this is my last round. All right, I'm gonna do that same thing, but I'm gonna take this can off, kind of get one more little test on making sure this thing locks to the rear each time. So let's do that. All right, so it's unsuppressed again. I got 1 round in the gun with an empty mag. So we'll do kind of the same test just to make sure it locks reliably to the rear. So quick side note on tuning rifles. So it's really fun to have a super well-tuned rifle, almost to the point of it like not being reliable. It's nice having a real smooth gun. I caution you against that though. If you want to depend on these guns, you want something right in the middle, a sweet spot that it's going to be reliable, and then get enough gas to be able to run when it's dirty. It's real easy to have a real fine-tuned suppressed rifle that runs really well suppressed, but then like gets dirty and doesn't want to run, because these things get filthy when you run suppressed, unfortunately. You also, if you do plan on taking the can off, you want it to run reliably unsuppressed, unless you're going to do a direct thread or never plan on taking the can off the gun. That's kind of an exception to that, but I want to make sure this thing's going to run reliably suppressed and unsuppressed, because I like to shoot my guns suppressed and unsuppressed, because I swap my cans around on a few different guns. So that's important to me. So we'll make sure this thing's gassed enough to be able to reliably cycle and lock to the rear. That kind of gives me the idea that it's running real well. So anyway, yeah, like I said, try not to over-tune your guns to the point where they're like on the bleeding edge reliability. You want a sweet spot. All right, we're back unsuppressed. Just going to do some 1 round reload, make sure that bolt locks to the rear for reliability purposes. Kind of just a good new barrel or new build procedure to do. Make sure it's gassed well enough. Unsuppressed is typically less gassy than suppressed. I mean, that's just the way it works. So if it's not going to lock to the rear, it would be unsuppressed. So that's why I want to test that just to see. So, all right, let's do it. Same thing, unsuppressed. Just 1 round reload just to make sure this thing functions, locks to the rear, all that good stuff. Let's do it. I'm going to go on steel again. Good. And just got a couple more reps like that. Yeah, this thing feels real nice. Cool. Mag's all covered in snow. All right. Sweet. All right. So first impressions on this guy. I like it so far. I know I don't have a lot of rounds through it. It's my first time out with it. Kind of a first impressions video. I figured I'd bring you guys along in case anything happened and just to kind of give you guys my honest feedback. So far, so good. I like a 16-inch rifle, and I really like the idea of this intermediate gas system. So I'm excited to test it further because I really like an 18-inch rifle length barrel. I love how smooth they are. So my hope with this is that this intermediate system is kind of going to be kind of mimicking that, like something that just runs real smooth. And so far today, just with my minimum amount of time on it, it feels real good. So we'll see. Time will tell how I feel about it as we go. Definitely no red flags so far. Everything worked fine. Didn't have any issues. It's a brand new bolt, brand new barrel. This gun's pretty sweet so far. I'm really liking it. So I will do, the next video will be probably for groups because I shot a few rounds today. I shot some more off camera. And I started with a 0 confirmation. So I have, maybe I think like 75, 85 rounds on it. So definitely not a lot, but at least enough that I got some wear in the barrel to do a group test next time. We'll probably do that. And we'll do some more shooting with it. I'll keep this on the channel. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for this thing to potentially be my main squeeze, but definitely need some time on it. All right, guys, that's going to conclude the video. I hope you got something out of it. I'm really excited to test this thing further on the channel. And if you like this content, please consider subscribing. Hit that thumbs up like button. Share with your buddies and comment down below. I really enjoy your feedback. If you want to support us in any other way, please consider checking out our website, wingatesolutionsllc.com. I make handmade 2-point rifle slings, sling retention straps, holster leg straps. Got some other cool stuff coming down the pipeline. Really appreciate your feedback and your support. All right, guys. Till next time, get out and train.